you have been looking for a Madden 26 offense that keeps the defense guessing, trips tight and flex is an absolute nightmare. Endless route combos, layered routes, and wide open reads. Let me show you guys why this formation must be incorporated in your offense. In last year's Madden, you saw these three plays running rampant in the Madden community. But in this year's Madden 26, only motion Y post is worth utilizing. The other two are obsolete in my opinion, which is why I have 4 other passing plays with multiple setups that I'm going to be breaking down for you to confuse the opponent and destroy the defense. Those passing plays are going to be level sail, PA fork, dagger, RPO zone alert, and post rail. I have a special setup in post rail that's a little bit advanced, but it absolutely decimates defenses for the people that can apply it. So not only in this formation am I going to show you what you should be doing, but I'll also be talking about the mistakes I see people making when I go against them in online games. So you'll learn what to do and what not to do. So let's hop right into it. We're going to kick it off with motion Y post. And the only adjustments on this play is to take the inside trips receiver, which in this case is circle, and we're going to put him on a drag. I absolutely hate the auto motion on this play for multiple reasons. One, it automatically telegraphs the play for the opponent. Whenever the auto motion starts, the opponent automatically knows what play we're calling. Any average player will automatically know how to audible or adjust to that defense when that auto motion starts. 2, with the player being on the drag, we give ourselves an underneath option, a quick underneath option, and a way to pull down the defense for us to be able to hit that post over the top. So the reads on this play are super simple. We're going to kick it off with the running back, Saquon Barkley R1. If we see that curl flat defender go upward like he did there, we're just going to give him an outside pass lead and then of course take it up the sideline. It is not a man beating route. It is specifically a zone beating route. The second read on this play is of course going to be the drag on the inside trips receiver. Circle in this case, as soon as we see those middle linebackers go up the field to worry about the post, we're just going to give them a nice pass lead to the outside and then turn upfield to pick up as much as we can. It is a man beating route as well, so of course let me switch to cover 1, and then of course we're going to see Dotson, as soon as he cuts down the middle of the field, he runs away from the opponent, allowing us to again turn upfield and pick up easy yards. The third read on this play is going to be the slot triangle receiver on the return. As soon as he cuts towards the middle of the field, we're going to see an open spot in the zone where we can fling it to him, turn upfield, and pick up the quick, easy yards. Of course, the return is a man-beating route as well, so let's set it up. We were back into cover 1, and you're going to notice, of course, as soon as he cuts towards the middle of the field, you're going to see some nice separation for us to be able to, again, move the ball up the field. The fourth read on this play is going to be the post route, of course, which is the tight end X. As soon as he goes over the top of the zones, we're going to notice there is going to be a huge hole for us to be able to pass lead it to the outside and pick up that quick 20-25 yard. This is one of the best money plays in Madden because it gives us the perfect combination of underneath routes and over the top attack availability. Now, because of the depth of the routes, it is incredibly difficult to use, and it makes this play specifically one of the best in Madden 26 as it was in Madden 25. Now, just to showcase that post route does beat man defense, we're just going to call it against cover 1 real fast. And of course, as soon as he cuts across the sideline, a nice pass lead to the outside proves that he gets absolutely wide open. So real fast in zone, I'm going to leave the inside slot receiver circle, and we're going to leave him on the auto motion. And not only do you lose the underneath option, he just does not beat anything, and it is a waiting pick to happen. I highly recommend never keeping him on that route at any point. In my opinion, it doesn't beat anything to justify keeping the auto motion. Put him on a drag and just run it how it is, and then you'll see immediate success. My first video in Madden 26 was me going over the best route combinations in the game. Levels was on that list, so it's no coincidence we're going to be breaking down the play levels sales. Now, you have a lot of creativity opportunity on this play, so I'm going to go over my favorite setup and then I'll talk about the variations you could utilize. The only adjustment on this play is to take the inside trips receiver, which is circle, and we're going to put him on a drag just like how we did in the previous play. The reason we do that instead of leaving him on that in route is that it adds distance between the drag and the in ran by the outside trips receiver, making it so the user can't accidentally play both, or he can't do a good job baiting one and then running to the other for that easy picks 6. I'll show you guys examples of that happening later on. Now, the reads on this play are again super simple. We're going to leave RB as read number 1 with the drag as read number 2. I'm not going to go over those on this example because I did on the previous play and I don't want to waste your guys' time. Read number 3 on this play is going to be the backside in. So we're going to call hike, and you're going to notice there's a knife saw spot in the zone when he cuts towards the middle of the field, and a downward pass lead is going to get you guys the save 10 to 15 yards. Now, the reason why we keep the tight end on the corner route is for the sole reason that in case it ends up becoming man defense, that you have another man beating route on the field that's going to give you chunk yard opportunity. Speaking of man defense, we are actually going to go to cover one hole, and you're going to notice that the in route does a really good job beating man defense as well. Same as the zone. A nice downward pass lead will give you the easy 10 to 15 yards. Now, the last read on this play is going to be the backside in around by the outside trips receiver. And you're going to notice as soon as I call hike, there is a lot of distance between those two routes, making it so you could read one, see if the user's taking it away, and if he's not, or if he is, go to the other one on the opposite side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to user the defense on this example here, and I'm going to leave both ins on the field to showcase why you should not do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the first in, and then I'm going to break towards the outside to the other in, baiting you into throwing it because I was following the first in. So instinctively, you're going to go to the backside in. So let me call hike. I'm going to follow it, and then I'm just going to stop here and wait for you to throw it to the other in, and that'll be one of the easiest pick six that you guys give me. The amount of times I do that in my online games happens very frequently whenever I'm going against somebody in trips, which is why I always recommend putting that receiver on a drag to make it so I can't do that. Here in this example, I'll follow. I can't make it to this drag in time. I can't make it to that backside in on time. And if I do, then you know what? You just have to tell yourself that was on me. That was my mistake. There was multiple windows for me to throw not only the deep end but the other in time. So that's why you want this drag route on the field, making it so I can't use her both at the same time. And of course, there's still the other in route that's happening deep at the same time. I'm leaving both of those open in order to take away the drag route, which is what is the absolute goal on this play is, and which is why it is incredibly effective. So let me hop off of the user on that one. So now let me show you guys some quick variations of this play. So what you could do is actually take the outside trips receiver, and you know what, let's step him up a little bit, and then let's take the slot receiver, we'll put him on a return, and then we'll take the outside the inside trips and we'll put him on a drag. Just like this, we're having the same route combination as we did previously, but we still have the rules and concepts that we want to follow. There's still the drag that's happening first. The return adds some depth to the play and gives us another window, and then the backside in gives us the third secondary window. So now with the user, he definitely can't use any of those in order to, of course, bait us and then go to the other one. Now this still adds a lot of depth and distance on those route combinations, which makes this play still really good. And then of course you could also stem the inside trips receiver, and then of course do the return on the slot. The same thing once again. Look at that, a lot of depth. That one, the speed variations between the inside slot and the outside receiver was pretty big there, but you guys understand the concept on something that I'm going for here. You could also do something like this. Honestly, you could drag return here. This one's really annoying because the opponent's not going to know what to do. You can't lower all your zone drops like that in order to stop it. And even if you do, the distance between those routes make it so there's still windows open to be able to attack those plays. And that was what makes this play a lot of fun, because you know what, if you're doing this all game, the opponent is eventually going to catch wind of it. So you can just kind of switch it up a little bit, just like that, just like this, just like that, and then boom, we're good to go. And then, of course, you know, what's the opponent going to do? Man everything up? He can't do that because those are man-beating routes. Now, that was a terrible route combination that I put on the field, but you guys understand the point that I'm trying to make right there. So let's keep it moving. So now I'm going to talk about one of the biggest issues and mistakes I see people making when running trips tight end flex. And right now we are in the play PA fork. And I want you guys to take note of the distance of the inside trips receiver circle on his out route. It goes at least 15 yards down the field. And nobody really calls this play. What they end up doing is they call the play HB angle. And the issue with that is this out route only goes 10 yards down the field. And why this is such a huge mistake is I've done this so many times in my online games is I'll set the curl flat defender to 10 yards down the field. And what that does is, one, not only bags the out route because he's sitting here right here waiting for that pick six opportunity, is that if you try to throw it to the whip route, you're only going to get 3 to 4 yards on it. But more importantly, you're going to be in hit sticking range. because here, I'll try to give you guys an example. I'll try to do this at once. I'm probably not going to be able to do it properly, but I go 10 yards down the field and boom, your prime hit stick location right there. Now that was a terrible hit stick. I was trying to do it solo with one hand, but you guys see the issue that I have when people call HB angle. You get bagged with 2 routes by 1 player, and that's never a successful formula to move the ball down the field on offense, because not only do I not have to worry about this, I can now just manually guard the angle route by myself, and then of course I'll take that out as well. And of course there is another out route ran by the tight end, so me setting this to 10 yards, now I got both routes bagged, because this one will also only go 10 yards down the field. So now who are you going to throw it to? Nobody. You either throw a pick or you take the sack, you're officially back. But if I stick to PA fork, not only do you have to set your curl flats to 20 in order to stop this, to go all the way down the field, or 15 in this case if you want to be like that, but now if I hit the whip route, I'm going to have at least 7 to 8 yards before you come close for a hit stick, and at that point I could just run out of bounds or make you miss. But at this point I have to either shade underneath to take away the whip route, or I'm setting my curl flats over the top to stop the corner route, which makes it so this guy needs help if he wants to stop too. So that means you either, as the user, go to this side down the field, or you're going to call a hard flat just like that in order to help him out. So that's going to be why you do not want to call HB angle. You want to stick to PA fork. And that is the biggest mistake people make when running trips tight end flex, because of course once somebody gets a hold on level sail or motion Y post, you need to have different variations to be able to attack the sideline. This is the best way to do so. So the adjustments on this play are super simple. You're going to be taking that slot receiver triangle, you're going to put him on the zig, and he's going to be read number 1 on this play. Of course, you're going to be looking at that curl defender and seeing what he does. If he dips down underneath, you're hitting the corner out, and of course if he plays over the top, then you're playing the zig. Now the opposite side of the field is where the issues happen, which is the tight end and the running back, because there aren't very many good route combinations that you could utilize for the both of them that still work. And my favorite one so far has been taking the tight end, putting him on an out route, and then taking the running back and putting him on a streak. You could put him on a Texas if you want, just like this, but I kind of prefer a streak a little bit because it has a lot of a big play opportunity. So if I see the user go over here and then help out on this side of the field, I'm looking at the tight end and the running back. But if I see the user on this side of the field, then of course I'm going to the other side, of course, with the out route, the whip, and all that good stuff. And the reason you do this specifically is that the tight end will pull the curl flat defender, in this case this guy, out of the way over here, and then of course there should be a little bit of a hole pocket right here for the running back to hit. So I'll show you guys that real fast before I go to the other side, but you're gonna notice a nice little hole just right here for a quick cheesy easy quick yards. At minimum you'll pick up 5. At most, if the zone drops are set awkwardly, you'll be picking up huge yards. I have an example you might have saw in the previous video where Saquon took it, I think 90 yards for a touchdown. It was really cool, and it was one of those validating moments that, hey, you know what, my route combinations are just it. I'm him with it. But here we go. That is read number 1 on this play. Read number 2 is going to be, of course, the zig route on the opposite side of the field. I'm just going to block the running back in this case so I can give myself a little bit more time. You're going to look, okay, where does he go? Just like that, and then of course you're going to take it out of bounds before you get hit sticked across the sideline. Now read number 3 on this play is going to be the out route ran by the inside slot receiver, and this is one of those special money routes that I can't stress enough that you need to hit as much as possible and as early and often as possible, because let me switch to cover 1 hole real fast, and you're going to notice how good this route is at beating man coverage. You're going to see it right here. As soon as he cuts towards the outside, you get a nice speed burst across the sideline, and even though I have no idea who this wide receiver is against Blaine, he's got absolutely torched. I mean, I don't even have to put Devontae Smith or AJ Brown in that slot because it absolutely decimated whoever was there with whichever scrub was playing wide receiver right there. So that is going to be read number 4 on this play. And of course, those are going to be the route combinations. I highly recommend utilizing this play early and often and using it to attack that side of the field, because a lot of the route combinations go underneath in this formation, making it so you need to be able to attack all sides of the field. All right, that was a lot of yapping. Let's move on. Dagger is the homie. You could run this play stock and have really good success for a majority of the game. I'll be showing you guys different variations that I find better, but I'll show you guys, of course, this really basic option first. You're going to be looking at the tight end as read number 1, the crossing route as read number 2, which is of course the inside trips circle receiver, and then the backside in on the outside square as read number 3. I'll utilize them real fast, and you're going to notice that this tight end is one of the most annoying routes in the game, going the opposite side of the field because it absolutely messes with the user. And read number 2 on this play is going to be the crossing route ran by the inside trips receiver. Once he crosses that middle linebacker, a nice downward and out pass lead will get you a nice possession catch across the sideline. And read number 3 on this play is going to be the backside in. And of course, you're going to dagger it right in as soon as he cuts towards the middle of the field. So that's the easy variation. Now the fun one, or a different one that you could run, is actually taking the slot receiver triangle and putting him on a drag as well. Now realistically, that streak isn't necessarily needed in order to make the play run, so you can kind of run a mini mesh concept. And let's block the running back just in case. You could run a mesh concept underneath with a crossing route and a backside in going over the top. So if the opponent shades underneath like this, if he just goes like this and then he goes to hard flats to try to take away the drags, you got the dagger, the in, and the crossing route to worry about. But of course, if he has a zone drop set higher in order to worry about the crossing route, then of course now you have 2 drags on the field for the opponent to worry about, and he can't guard both at the same time, so you have multiple opportunities to attack both sides of the defense. So you can just do it just like this, and then you could run up and down the field with pretty much very little consequences. Now, another variation is to take the tight end and putting him on a streak. And what that does is it gives you a seam streak up the middle of the field for you to keep the opponent honest, that he can't dip underneath for the drag. What it also does is it pushes the deep third safety, or the deep third corner in this case, right here, Diggs, so he can't dip underneath to try to take away that crossing route that goes over the middle of the field. What you also are going to want to do is take, again, that slot receiver triangle and putting him on the drag. So of course, you still have something underneath to be able to keep the defense honest, check it down, and of course, make those zone drops go down for you to be able to hit the over the top stuff. So in this case, right now, you're going to be looking at that seam streak by the tight end as read number 1. If it's available, hit it. If not, you're going to go to the drag route for read number 2. Read number 3 is going to be the crossing route with the backside in as read number 4. So just like that, same thing, you're going to have a huge hole in the middle of the field for you to hit that drag route. And then of course, once again, once the crossing route goes up past the middle of the field, you're going to see a nice hole in the zone for you to be able to hit that crossing route across the sideline. And of course, last but not least, you still have that in route to be able to attack the opposite side of the field. These are 3 quick route combinations you could utilize, which is of course just like this setup, and of course both drag setup that you could really use to of course confuse the defense and utilize this play in different ways to of course maximize your efficiency. Post rail is specifically when you want to flex on your opponent. This is the I'm just doing disrespect on you. So what you're going to be doing on this play is taking the outside trips receiver and you're going to motion him to the opposite side of the field. And while he's motioning, you're going to want to take him and putting him on a streak. Just like that. After he goes to the opposite side of the field, what you're going to do is take the slot receiver, which is triangle in this case, and you're going to put him on a streak, and then you're going to take the circle receiver, inside trips, and you're going to put him on a drag, just like that. Now, you can keep the tight end on a post. I think a deep cross is better in most cases. So just like this is the play. It looks a lot funky, but the reads are going to be, of course, the drag ran by the circle receiver. He's going to be read number 1. Read number 2 is going to be the wheel route ran by the running back, and read number 3 is going to be the crossing route ran by the tight end. And what's really good about this play is it gives you a lot of verticality in the routes. The wheel route and the crossing route are going to be the main reads on this play when we want to push the ball down the field. So what we did on the running back side, wheel route side, or the right hand side of the field is we created a different variation of a flood concept. What we did is have the underneath route, which is the drag, the over the top route, which is the streak, and the intermediate route, which is the wheel route, which is basically almost like a corner route, if you will. But the difference is the wheel route, it runs up the field instead of a corner route going diagonally across the field. So the running back has a head of steam to go forward rather than what a corner route does, which is go towards the sideline, which is basically a funky way of saying, hey, prepare to get chunk yards when utilizing this play. We set it up. The only thing about this play is it does take a minute to set up because, of course, you know what, there's a lot of motioning going on, and then, of course, audibling a handful of times because you are utilizing a completely different play. The only reason why we pick this one instead of a different one is that the running back is already on a wheel route, so that's just one less adjustment that you have to make. So one more time, you're going to be looking at the running back. As soon as he crosses that curl flat defender, there is a nice hole in the zone where you can, of course, pick up chunky yards. Now we're going to look at the tight end. Of course, once he crosses the middle linebacker, just like we did in Dagger, you're going to see a nice downward pass lead to the outside. And of course, another chunk yard opportunity is there. So that is post rail. And the reason why I really like utilizing it is that it adds another depth of disrespect and verticality to the offense. When you need a 2-minute drill, you can go into this play. When you need a chunk play opportunity, you can go to this play, and it has a lot of success because the crossing routes go on opposite sides of the field that both pick up chunk yards and still has that underneath opportunity to hit the drag for easy yards. Now we're going to go over real fast RPO zone alert. Now typically I usually leave RPOs and run plays for shorts. I'm just going to go over this real fast because I will be making a short on this play. Basically, if it's man defense, don't throw this. If it isn't man defense, throw this. So we see it's zone defense. Just going to throw it, and then we're going to follow our blocks down the sideline. You're going to notice there's a huge chunk play opportunity. What I'm also going to do now is shade the coverage underneath. So we have hard flats going from the corner. Now, typically you would think, okay, that would do a good job on this play. But no, it does not, because he runs straight into that blocker. Now, if he had a good one over there, he would still have that alleyway to go up the field. So if I go something like cover 2, you would think, okay, you know what? There's a lot more people, a lot more bodies. I'll even shade underneath to make it a little bit more trickier. But you're going to notice that no, there's still way more opportunity to be able to move the ball down the field. The only way, if you want to stop this RPO, is calling man defense. And of course, shading underneath on that man defense. But we really love man defense anyway. Just like that. And then of course, you know, if that's an online player, he's going to click on and that'll be a pick 6. So if you see that opponent dip down right away, then you know it's man defense and you're just going to give it to the running back, take your couple yards, and then of course move on, as you notice now the opponent is playing man defense and you of course have multiple ways of attacking. So that's going to be this scheme video. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have a suggestion, because this video was created off a suggestion in the comments of another one, but if you enjoyed it, hey, good luck everybody.